Today we are going to discuss a topic of financial management, and that topic is cash management and the techniques of cash management. Cash management has assumed importance because it is the most significant of all the current assets. It is required to meet business obligation and it is unproductive when not in use. Cash management usually deals with cash flows within the firm and cash balance held by the firm at a point of time. Cash management needs certain strategies to deal with various facets of cash, and these strategies are cash planning. It is basically the technique to plan and control the use of cash. Another one is cash forecasting and budgeting. A cash budget is an estimate of cash receipts and disbursements during a future period of time. The short-term forecast can be made with the help of cash flow projections. The financial manager will make estimates of likely receipts in the near future and the expected disbursement in that period. Though it is not possible to make exact forecast, even then estimates of cash flows will enable the planner to make arrangement of the cash needs. But before discussing about the techniques of cash management, let us first discuss about the cash management model. One of the primary responsibility of the financial manager is to maintain a sound liquidity position of the firm. Every firm wants that there should be an adequate amount of fund being available in the firm. Therefore, every firm strives for an optimum level of cash in an organization. This model will help you to determine the optimum level of cash for an organization. This model was being developed for inventory management, but this model also has an application in cash management and it helps in determining the optimum cash level. As economic order quantity, that is EOQ, in inventory management involves trade-off between the carrying cost and the ordering cost. Likewise, and the optimum cash balance is the trade-off between the opportunity cost, or it can also be termed as the cost of borrowing, and it can also be termed as the storage cost. You can see from the model that the optimum cash balance is reached at a point where the transactional cost cuts the opportunity costs, and at this point the total cost is at its minimum level, and this shows the optimum cash balance for a firm. So this point shows the optimum cash balance for a firm. Holding this much amount of cash, that is the optimum amount of cash in an organization, will provide the adequate amount of liquidity to the organization. However, if the firm holds more than the optimum level, then you can see that at this point the opportunity cost holding more cash is increasing, while the transactional cost of holding this much amount has been declined. At this point, if the liquidity balance exceeds the optimum level than the required balance, then the extra funds will remain idle, and therefore it involves opportunity cost in the sense that the amount could have been put to more effective use. Like you could have invested the excess amount in the bank and the firm could have earned the interest, while holding that much amount of cash in a business leads to an idle fund in an organization which cannot be put together to a productive purpose, and the funds remains idle in an organization which could have earned a particular amount of interest. On the other hand, if a firm is holding the amount less than the optimum capital, that is, if the liquidity balance is short of the requirement, the firm may have to incur the shortage cost. Here you can see that the opportunity cost of holding this much amount is less, while the shortage cost or the transactional cost of holding this much amount is more. This shows that the firm is having shortage of funds, and for the purpose of fulfilling that shortage of funds, the firm may be required to sell its fixed investments, or maybe he have to resort the balance by fresh borrowings. So in this case, when the firm is having shortage of funds, then the firm needs to borrow the funds from the market, and for that purpose the firm needs to pay a fixed rate of interest, which leads to a shortage cost for an organization. Therefore, maintaining the optimum cash balance is Very much important for every organization, because at this point the total cost is at its lowest point. Now let us discuss some techniques for managing cash flows. Cash management will be successful only if cash collections are accelerated and cash disbursements are delayed as far as possible. Now let us discuss certain methods which will help to accelerate the cash flows. The first method is prompt payments by customers. In order to accelerate the cash inflows, the collections from customers should be prompt. This will be possible by prompt billing. Now the next method could be quick conversion of payments into cash. The cash inflows can be accelerated by improving the cash collection process. An effective cash management will be possible only if the time taken in the deposit floats is reduced. And this can be done by decentralizing the collections. By saying the deposit float, what I mean is postal float, that is time taken by the post office for transferring check from customers to the firm. Lethargy float, which is time taken in processing the checks within the organization and sending it to the bank for collection. And the third one is deposit float, which means the time taken by the bank in collecting the payments from the customer's bank. So the time taken in whole of the deposit float should be reduced. The third method is decentralized collection. A big firm operating over a wide geographical area can accelerate collections by using the system of decentralized collection. And it can be done by opening number of collection centers in different areas instead of collecting receipts at one place. And the fourth one is lockbox system. In this, the firm hires a post box in a post office. Then the parties are asked to send the checks on that post box number. The local banks are authorized to operate the post box. This system of collecting checks accelerates the collection process and avoid delays due to the mailing process and processing time at the accounting department. Now let us discuss certain methods of slowing cash outflows, wherein the first one is paying on last date. In this, the disbursement can be delayed on making payments on the last due date only. In the second method, the payments are being made through drafts. In this, a company can delay payments by issuing drafts to the supplier instead of giving checks. Because when a check is issued, then the company will have to keep a balance in its account so that the check is paid whenever it comes. On the other hand, a draft is payable only on the presentation to the issuer. A company can also use the methods like adjusting payroll funds, and it can be done by reducing the frequency of payments. If the payments are made weekly, then this period can be extended to a month. A company can also go for centralization of payment. That is, the payment should be centralized and the payment should be made through drafts or checks. So the firm may use these kind of methods so as to maintain optimum cash balance in an organization. Thank you.